I'm Kayla.
And I'm Becky.
And we're here with a couple of B's. Now, last week, you remember I went through my 2022 Book of the Month Roundup. So this week, Becky is going to round up her books from 2022.
Well, she was the book slayer, and I'm just the shelf slayer up here because she read more than 24, but I've read 12. So I started out in the year, one of my first ones was Pretty Little Wife. And that was an excellent book. It was the one that gave me my 400-page read. And it was fast-paced. It was great. I could not put that book down. I mean, I read it in a matter of days.
I remember that.
I mean, because I kept telling you, you got to read this book, you got to read this book. But I mean, it was Darby Kane. It was great. And I know that she's got something else coming out, and I can't wait to read it. But it was a 5+ for me. Instructions for dancing kind of leaned more toward young adult a little bit, but it was about a couple of young people, and they meet and they end up dancing together, and it's the guys.
It's competitive dance, right?
Yes, and it is ballroom dancing, as a matter of fact. And they're young, but they're in his grandparents' dance studio and all of this. But it was so sweet, and I just loved it. It really moved along.
You kept describing it to me, and I was like, this is strictly ballroom,
yeah,
which is one of my favorite movies. Like, it's one of those movies I watch when Bo isn't around, because it's definitely a chick flick.
It is. Then the Love Hypothesis, everybody loves Allie Hazelwood, and it was just, it was a cute read. I loved it. The Neighbor's Secret was very interesting. That was another one.
You read that one really fast, too.
It's funny, all of these, it's kind of unreal that I read only 12, because most of these books I did read fairly quickly because they just kept moving, and they were good page turners, whether it was for the suspense level or it was just the flow of the writing that I loved so much. But it was a really good book. It was about just a neighborhood. Things happen. There's, of course, death involved, tragedy, all of these things. I just don't have time to go into all of them, but I've reviewed all of these online. And History of Wild Places was my book of the year choice for book of the month, and it was like one of the very first ones I read. And it was a magical realism fantasy type, and I've talked about it. It was this individual, he can find lost people. And you can imagine if you're someone that can see where lost people have gone, and he quits doing it because he cannot always find them in time to save them. And that's what just wrecks his life and his heart, so. But it is a fabulous read, and I was really upset it didn't at least make it into the final 5, because I loved it. Then we have The Maid by Anita Prose. That was another very interesting book. If you just another good book to sit and read. And Lucy Foley, The Paris Apartment. She did the guest list.
Right, and I loved the guest list.
Yes, this is very interesting. It's just kind of strange. There's a lot of twists and turns in here, and things that come up that you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming, kind of thing. So it's always a good, a good thing if you're looking for something that's not predictable. The Cartographers. Now, this is a book. I was a history teacher, a geography teacher. I love maps. So, no, everybody goes, oh, you're such a nerd, you love maps. I do love maps. I love globes, I love maps. It's just something about them, about the places they really, can take you to, and it's just interesting to me. And so the Cartographers, it is about map making and cartographers, who actually are the ones that create the maps, but it's what this secret room that kind of is there and then it's not there, and special maps that may take you places. So it is like magical realism as well. So it's a really good, interesting read. The Change was probably one of my favorite books of the year, because, as I'll just be personal here, as an older woman, I've gone through the change. Unfortunately, I didn't get powers like these three women did as they went through. Of course, it's just so funny the way they talk about it. And seriously, this is not just for older women. It's a great book for older women, but anyone can read this and laugh in it. It has a lot of twists and turns, things you don't expect, but it again is a magical realism, and it is some true life stuff that goes on. And if you don't have a woman in your life at that age, it will help you understand them some, and then you'll pray, hey, I hope they don't get these special powers. So, But then Ellen Hildebrand is very big name in women's contemporary fiction. She has lots and lots of books. I have a lot of her books that I've read, and she did the Hotel Nantucket. I love the New England coast. I've never been to Nantucket. I would like to go sometime. Just the quaint little fishing village and everything, and yet it's really goes above and beyond, and they take an old hotel and refurbish it, and it's just everything that goes on with the people that are working there, the people that are involved in the town. It's a great book if you like contemporary women's fiction. And Ellen can always give you a good read. Then the last book I guess Wilder Women is the last book I read for that, but I've already just reviewed it. So this is my other Sarah Addison Allen, Other Birds. We reviewed it a few weeks ago. It was another book that it just was beautifully written. I loved her writing so much. It's another magical realism book. I feel like I've read a lot of magical realism this year. So it was really a beautifully written book. So again, another good one to pick. So that's my year in review for Book of the Month. And pick up one of them. They were all 5 stars for me. And somebody goes, well, that woman doesn't give anything but 5 stars. So maybe we'll talk about why that is next week.
Absolutely.
All right. Y'all have a great week. Bye.